Hey folks, welcome in. Paramay Trades here. This is Paramay's Trade Journal. A little Friday homework for you. I think if you want to make money in this market, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to go. So, getting all the charts lined up for the upcoming week. So we've been doing a lot of bullish charts right now, but I'm just going to take a look at a bearish sentiment by commercial interest on soybean meal. We did a video a couple weeks back, quite a few weeks back now, I think, on soybean meal when comms were getting bullish on it, and that seemed to pan out okay. So now we've got, so we had recognized the shift in sentiment that happened some weeks ago, up in that extreme territory, and then they shifted quite handsomely to the downside. And I think it was some months ago, maybe in January. There was some trade talks with China and exports and stuff like that. I can't remember if Trump had come on the news and said, China's still interested here in our exports. So, looking at this chart, this on a 6-month index, this looks really, really, really bearish. So we're going to take a look at ZM just to see what we can see if we can align ourselves with the proper side of the trade here. And I know they were getting burned pretty hard. This is our 3-year? Yeah, this is our 3-year. So let's just take a look at the 1 year, because this is what we've got data for, or at least what I've coded the indicator for is, you got a look back period of 1 year of commercial interest on a 3-year index, and obviously 6 months data for the 6-month index. So, can we look back further? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, we can do that. I just don't know if I'm going to do it right now. So what did we have going on? Even on the daily, nice bullish W pattern working out here in a break. But comms were not on the right side here. They were not on the right side of the trade, which is confusing. I mean, they generally are. So in terms of, their market sentiment when we were up at this range, what do we have? So we had a range, range low, range high. So high to low here. That's a huge range. So let's go low to high. And so we get a swing through the lows, and comms are getting bullish. Positive outlook in this territory. So really positive outlook, really, accumulation, if you will. But we did run the lows here. So we got a higher low here, a lower low, and a higher low here. So, did they think that this was going lower? I think so. When they were getting bullish, this is what they like to see. Open interest is people are not very interested in this right now, right? It's selling off. People are getting out of this trade. Getting out of this market. And they capitalize on it, so we swing low here. Not quite as low as it's been within the last year. But diminishing open interest, relatively lower diminishing open interest, positive outlook by commercial interest. And we see that, kind of oversold, territory in both cases on the WPR, and market sentiment is rather low, and they take it the other way. But what I can't understand is, they loaded up their net long contracts here, so maybe they're just, they're closing them out because they're not getting as optimistic any longer with price as high as it is. So we're at highs for the last year of data. So they're holding that short here, and did we top out here? Did we top out? And this is why they're holding that short, and they don't have a positive outlook. So oversold territory. Comms are bearish. And is this thing, how much is this going to correct if it does correct? Oh, that's what we got for data, huh? So this is, you know, looking pretty bearish. You got swing high happening in this area. So the high of the range, low of the range, high, low, you know, high, low. Where can we make a case here? Where is it respecting? Where is it rejecting? And we've got another. Is this going to continue to go down? I think we can probably make a case that it might. It's got some more downside to it. How much will it retrace? I mean, Com's not very optimistic. 1 year high on soybean meal. You know, can we get in, you know, this area and get some kind of release bounce? Hey, lo and behold, you know, this is an area of confluence, and likewise here too. So we drop right through that, huh? This little cluster of info, and we bounce off of it, but is it enough to keep soybean meal going higher? I don't think with where commercial interest is, that, you know, they are too optimistic about this going higher rather than retracing. So, you know, bearish looking chart. I have to watch the fundamentals too. I mean, I haven't really checked on soybean meal, but, you know, there's the CoT look, there's the commercial interest look. Looking like a bearish chart. Looking like a bearish chart. And did we get some kind of, you know, a little sloppy on the bullish W here, but you know, it did break, and we found support on this, you know, on the CMA. It was a nice indication that this was going higher. And we have a case for a pivot low too. I mean, different look here. You know, where's your technical? You know, break the downtrend, this descending high pattern, and, you know, if you're hip to this chart and you saw this powerful move going on, you jumped in on a breakout trade. I didn't see anything too compelling here for a bottom. It's there. It's there. It's a, you know, doesn't look like much, but just a lot of noise going on. But there was the indication for the, you know, the bullish case. And look at that, huh? You know, not a lot of movement. Can we say something's up? Something's up along this line. No strong rejection. Just look like a lot of buildup happening here in this short area. A lot of buildup. Nice buildup along the descending high pattern, and just a strong break. And a retest on. Search for support. You know, any of those. If you missed a breakout trade, you're looking for an opportunity to get in along the EMA, and then there it was. Then we got that top look. We got that top look and descending high pattern. So we slap on a. Let's plug this in. Make sure we've got this chart here. So can we plug in a channel that might have been able to. Might have been able to help us here. Where are we? What's going to work? What's going to help out here? Oh, well, that looks nice, right? So here's the median. Here's the, you know, your 1.0 deviation. You know, from the median both ways. And then we're up in this range where you don't really want to be a buyer, up in you know, 25% plus range. This is a really high value, not a place you really want to be a buyer. You rather, if you're thinking about short selling, maybe up in this area. So we got swing high. Okay. Nice low. Hard to say which ones it's respecting, but let's take the initial high and then see where our initial low is, which is right here. So initial high, pivot off the high, and then we break that immediately, and then we swing down and we take out the lows. So take out the highs, take out the lows, and there's our target to the upside. Continue to push even though we broke out of this range. So now we've got this top look here. So high to low to high, and lower high on each side. So there's your nice swing pivot. Right, there's your short-term high, or your short-term high. Could be a long-term high for the year up in this area. A little hard to get above that. So confluence in here. So this has got to break down if this is going to go lower. Distribution. So we broke that, right? We broke this uptrend channel, and now we've got a contrarian position here, and that traveled really low on the outside. So on the lower end of the value, this is your area probably to be a buyer if you were looking for a bounce, and it got it a little bit here. Look at that nice W look again, huh? Not too compelling of a bullish W, but it's there with the expectation of, maybe, that's a lower low here. We did not get a higher low or a lower low here and then, pivot here, but it worked. So top of the right in this high valued area for a downtrend, and this is the area where you probably want to short the most. This is probably the area where you may likely want to be a buyer. If you can get a nice pattern going here like this, that would indicate that bulls may be gaining an upper hand, and then we get a break. We get a break again, like we've been seen in a lot of these charts. We get a break of this downtrend, like bullish W, break of it and retest and find support in the EMA, and then there's your nice scalp play. And then you want to get out of that. You get this. Is that another? Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice swing pivot right there, right? That's a nice bullish candle, and then some follow up here. So are you a buyer? I don't think so. I mean, we've been wrong before, but now we've got the opposite look that we've had with our bullish charts. With you get a nice bullish W. It's a little sloppy here, a little bit of noise, but it's there, and then build up and a break. I think this is a decent bounce, but here's the outer edge of that, of that channel, that downtrend channel. We've got to break out of this if it's going to continue higher, but I don't think with commercial interest the way that it is, that's going to happen. I run the lows. So that's what I got to say about ZM. Different kind of chart that we've been looking at in the last 6 or 7 videos here, but if you're a bear, you find an area in here where you can grab a short position on this. And just to recap, this is what we're looking at here. This is what we got to work with when looking at our leading indicator with commercial interest, is that they're not very optimistic up in here. Coming off an oversold, and we've got some sell-off. So what have we got left? What has it got left? All right, thanks for tuning in. Happy to share. So if you'd like, we've got a Discord channel where our community kind of congregates. Not a lot of folks in there right now, but don't let that discourage you. I'm a full-time trader here, so I post all my charts in there. The server address is listed in the description. You want to stop in, talk some trade, talk about the CoT report, talk about commercial interest, see how it can help you or help us align ourselves with the proper side of the trade. And until the next one, until the next video, hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade, and we'll see you in the next video.